So it came out on Friday, and here is the review of it. It is it. In it.
When you're a kid, you think the universe revolves around you. You think that you'll always be protected and cared for. Then, one day, you realize that's not true. Because when you're alone as a kid, the monsters see you as weaker. You don't even know they're getting closer. Till it's too late.
Alright, so before I go into any of the details about what I thought about the film, I'm just going to tell you that I got to the Odeon, right, and the place was just like proper swarming with people. Now, I don't know, I think I was just expecting the opening like weekend. I didn't think it'd be like majorly busy. I thought it might be popular, but I got to the Odeon, I was told that it was literally every single screen was packed out. They had to put on more screenings to cope with the amount of people that were going to see the film. And this is just like one cinema I went to, so I'm guessing it was like that all over the country, all over the world. I'm guessing in the opening weekend it must have got a lot of money back. So I decided to go and see it in IMAX, which I want to tell you a little bit more about later on, alright? But for now, let's go to the synopsis of it. Alright, a group of bullied kids band together when a monster that takes the appearance of a clown begins hunting children. So I'm sure that if any of you have seen the 1990s version of it, the miniseries version, I think it was starring Tim Curry and John Boy Walton, I think. And you're all aware of the storyline, you know how it goes. There's this crazy clown that's like just trying to kill kids and red balloons appearing everywhere, telling kids they will float if they go with him. I think what was really interesting when I went to see it was that the age group of the audience, it wasn't an older audience who were around during the first version of it, you know, the mini-series from the 90s. This was like a fresh new audience of young people going to see this version. So it wasn't a load of people coming back to see this newer version of it. But what I liked about this version of it, it seemed to really keep with the tone of the 1990s version. It seemed like even just like the fonts on the screen from when the credits were coming up, it seemed very 80s and 90s-ish. I even checked out the age of the director. I think he's about 44. So he would have been around during like the 80s, like he would have been a kid during that time, so he would have known what the 80s was like. And I think this movie does a really, really convincing job of pulling off the 80s. I mean, being a kid during that era, it was really good to see it on screen again. It like how everything was so carefree back then, people just riding around on bikes. You didn't see a mobile phone in sight, no one getting selfies when they're going to the haunted house. It's me, Pennywise, #scared. It was even a bit weird like seeing like kids running around their Y fronts. You don't see movies like that today. You used to see it in the 80s when people running around their Y fronts. Stand By Me when they went swimming in their Y fronts. They did it in this movie when they go swimming in their Y fronts. That was very much an 80s thing. And that's why this movie felt so 80s. It felt like it was an 80s movie. From the haircuts, the clothing, the music, I think it just captured the 80s movie era perfectly. And the cast, all the cast are like really young actors, and all these really young actors did a really, really good job. It's got one of the kids in it from Stranger Things, from Netflix, and he's like the comic relief, and he keeps like coming up with these like great one-liners the whole way through. The one thing that's a bit different in the 90s miniseries is that in the 90s miniseries one, they come back when they're older to fight the clown again. But I do think there'll be a sequel to this one because there was like a little title card at the end of this one, so I'm not going to say what it says. If you go and see it, find out for yourself. And getting back to the IMAX thing again, what it was, the reason I really like this, right, I found my seat. Now, if any of you live in the Liverpool area and you go to the Odeon Liverpool one, they have premier seats, all right? They cost a little bit more than normal tickets, but these premier seats, F14, all right, F14, that seat's amazing because it's like, the IMAX screen's so big, you can't see anything else but the screen. It's amazing. So yeah, F14 in the IMAX screen at the Odeon Liverpool one. I fully recommend that premiere seat. So yeah, overall I love this movie. It was 2 hours and 10 minutes long. It has a really great cast. It's a really good adaptation of a Stephen King novel. It will make you jump, and there's plenty of comic relief in between the scares from the cast, and even Pennywise himself. He does a pretty crazy shit, he does. So yeah, go and see it. Maybe you'll float too.